Good Thursday morning. We've reached the coldest morning of the week. Boy, you look at the time lapse, you can see how cold it is. But steam everywhere as the physical plant downtown trying to generate some heat, trying to do something. And there's not much lateral movement, saying that there's not much wind at ground levels. That helps a little bit. That's also part of the reason why it is particularly cold. Very stable air mass, not much wind chill impact anyway. But again, without that much mixing in the air, the temperature itself is allowed to reach rock bottom. Here we are looking outside at 7:45 here this morning with our Quality Group camera from downtown Rochester. 14 below zero. That's the coldest we've been so far today, or this week for that matter. But the wind's only 9 miles per hour. So if there's any silver lining to this, at least it's not very windy. And it's very, very sunny. So we're looking at a pretty pleasant looking day. You just have to prepare for it and wear many, many layers and try to stay warm today. We're starting way below zero on our way to the teens above. Keep in mind that we only reached 9 degrees yesterday for high temperature here in Rochester. So it won't be too hard to surpass that, but we'll get at least maybe a couple of degrees beyond that later this afternoon with the help of that sun and a slightly warmer air mass that's coming in from the south and west. Temperatures below zero this morning. Rochester 14 below, Dodge Center 18 below zero, Mesa City 11 below, on our way to at least 10 to 15 degrees above later today. But look at that wind chill though, 33 below zero. And I'll highlight that here on this graphic because it is brutally cold out there, and a wind chill advisory is in effect for more than an hour here still this morning. Air pressure rising, that's a big number there too, and it's something else to highlight. That's something you don't always see that all that often. Barometric pressure number that high, saying that's very stable, very strong Canadian air mass, very cold air. Anytime you typically see something stronger than 30.80 inches, it's usually in the winter, and that's a very strong batch of subsidence, and we call it subsidence, that sinking motion in the air because of the very cold, dry, dense air mass coming out of Canada, and that's what's suppressing cloud cover, but also providing us with very clear sky and very quiet weather. And without that wind to mix things up, temperatures have been allowed to fall a bit further than recent days. 33 below zero in Rochester with this air mass, high pressure basically right on top of us. Mesa City 28 below, these are wind chill levels, and 31 below zero in Dodge Center. Now, sub-zero weather. It's the 20th sub-zero day so far this winter. 14 below zero, the low so far today in Rochester. Average number per season, 29 days below zero. And the last, on average, the final sub-zero day in Rochester's statistical climatology is March 1st. That's not to say we don't get it beyond March 1st. Last year, March 7th. Was the last sub-zero day. The record for the latest sub-zero day, you're wondering, well, it's March 31st. So March is still open game for that type of thing, open season for that thing, but it's still pretty looking a little optimistic, I think, beyond today. We are looking at some better weather and not a lot of sub-zero weather perhaps in at least the next week. But day planner today for our Thursday, a lighter breeze, 10 degrees just before sunset, the overall high around 11. Here's that wind chill advisory. Not everybody's in it, but most of us are. Rochester, Austin, Mesa City, Albert Lee, Mankato. We're all in that wind chill advisory until 9 o'clock this morning. Skies are clear. I mean, it is really quiet on satellite radar, and it will remain so for the rest of today. There's that big blue H right on top of us. At least it looks tranquil, and it will be actually a tranquil day, just not very warm. Windy, warmer for Friday. Behind this high pressure, there was a warm front that's going to come through, and actually temperatures by this time tomorrow will be a lot warmer, at least 20, maybe 25 degrees warmer tomorrow at this point versus what we have today. And you'll see that in a minute in our forecast. But and a warmer weekend and less windy. Tomorrow winds are going to usher in that warmth, but then the winds will subside, the warmth will stick around. So it's the Goldilocks situation for winter standards for the weekend. 14 below zero in Rochester. It's 2 below in Algona, Wausau, 8 degrees below zero. 13 below in Aberdeen, South Dakota. But here's what we're looking at. Climbing above zero by lunchtime. Will be around 11 for a high today. Tonight in the evening, 8, 9, 10 o'clock, around 3 degrees. But after midnight, watch the temperatures slowly climb. And once we really get into that warmer air, that warm front swings through. Gusts will pick up out of the southwest by late morning tomorrow and the afternoon. And that's when the big time warm up will occur. Now, sadly, it won't feel that warm because of the wind itself. But here's Futurecast looking through the rest of today. A quiet day. Here comes that warmer air mass this evening and tonight. Then tomorrow, the winds really pick up behind that warm front while daytime temperatures climbing into the low and mid-30s tomorrow. Tomorrow night, staying in the 20s and then dropping only to around 20 degrees by Saturday morning. as that cold front to the northwest will hold off for a couple of days. So Saturday and Sunday, warm air continuing to build in, but less wind and all that abundant sunshine will help us stay warmer. 20s at night, but daytime highs in mid and upper 30s both Saturday and Sunday, and not much wind. So those days do look fantastic. Today, not much wind, but a very cold version of winter weather. 11 in Rochester, 12 in Austin, 10 in Charles City. West winds around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, 3 degrees above zero. That'll be around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock this evening. Temperatures then after midnight climbing, eventually reaching around 10 or 11 by sunrise tomorrow. Late morning, the winds really pick up. That's when the temperatures climb sharply to 33, so above freezing. You'll see those dripping icicles, but there'll be wind-blown drips from those icicles as winds at times 30 miles per hour to the southwest. And more often than not, over the next week, temperatures doing pretty well for this time of the year, at or above the seasonal average. There is a slight drop-off maybe late next week with that cold air just before the end of the month, but we can expect things to even out from time to time, and that's not unusual. And then there are snow chances early next week. It'll be late Sunday night into Monday as it stands right now. Could see maybe a couple of inches out of that, maybe more, but right now the system not looking particularly strong, and most of it south of us. But we will be watching that Monday system. Tuesday and Wednesday, much lighter snow showers and colder air coming in. But boy, the weekend is what we're focusing on right now, getting out of the deep chill today, and then looking at that great Saturday and Sunday time frame for the best weather in the next 7 to 10 days. In the meantime, stay warm today, everybody. Have a great Thursday. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.